Welcome to this informational session about the upcoming certificate and grant writing course. I'm here to tell you about the certificate program, and I hope I can answer any questions that you have. But if I don't, my contact information is provided in the video description below, and I encourage you to call me or email me, especially if you just want to talk about your career goals and see if this course fits into what you hope for your future. So the certificate program is held quarterly, and the starting date is listed in the video notes below. Space is limited to optimize learning, and so I do encourage you to register as soon as possible so that you can save your date. But registration stays open until the day of the class, so if it hasn't filled up, you can register anytime before class starts. My name is Allison Jones, and I'm a grant writing professor at Seattle Central, Western Washington University, Evergreen College, and I'm also the founder and CEO of Spark the Fire grant writing classes, where you can find more courses on grant writing and freelancing. I've been writing grants since I graduated from college with my BA in psychology. It all started because I went into social work and I was working at a homeless shelter in Honolulu, and I was a case manager. My supervisor really enjoyed reading my case notes, and so he asked me if I would give it a stab writing the policy and procedures for the organization. And after that, he wanted me to try grant writing. So I did and found that I had a real knack for it. And I have been writing grants ever since. And I believe that grant writing is one of the most fulfilling and rewarding jobs out there. I've raised millions of dollars in grants for issues that I deeply care about. I've worked as a nonprofit executive director, a development director, a grants manager, and as a freelance grant writer and consultant. When I was freelancing, I had so much work that I really couldn't keep up with it, and I was turning clients away. And so I decided to start teaching grant writing to share what I've learned over the years of grant writing and to pass it on. So I started teaching my first class at the local library, and I fell in love with teaching. So I went back to school and I got my master's degree in education with an emphasis on adult learning. And I believe in using brain-based learning strategies, and so my classes are highly interactive and hands-on. I also review grants for several foundations and government entities, so I know what it's like to be on the other side of the table, and I enjoy sharing all of that knowledge with you as well. So I've taught grant writing classes in a lot of different formats. I started with a one-day workshop, and then I did a weekend boot camp. But over the years that I have found that the very best format for teaching is this 8-week course, so that you have time to digest the information and practice writing a grant proposal in between our meetings. So this course is online with an experiential format, meaning that you actually write a real life grant proposal for a cause or a project of your choice. There are 8 weekly video conferences where we dive into course topics using case-based and problem-based discussion formats. These are not lectures, these are interactive, cameras on, and full participation. So let's talk a little bit more about the course project. You will have a learning cohort that you interact with during the course, and also during the Zooms, and we do peer review of our writing. So that means that you'll be reading everyone else's grant proposals, and they'll be reading yours, and everyone will give each other feedback and encouragement. You'll also get my weekly feedback as well. And so each week you're going to add to your grant proposal so that at the end of the course, you're going to have a completely written grant proposal that is ready for your writing portfolio. When organizations hire a grant writer, the main thing that they look for is excellent writing samples. So having a stellar grant proposal in your portfolio is a must. You'll use the information on the web to research the organization of your choice, and then you'll follow that up by doing an interview with someone at the nonprofit to gain the rest of the information that you're going to need for your proposal. And that interview typically happens in about week 4. To earn the certificate, you must attend at least 6 of the 8 Zoom meetings. All the sessions are recorded, so if you have to miss one, you can watch it later and submit a written summary of the meeting for credit. Earning the certificate also requires full participation in the Zoom meeting, so that means cameras on. And finally, to earn the certificate, you do have to write a complete grant proposal. There are rubrics provided for each writing assignment, meaning that you'll have a cheat sheet to how the assignment is assessed, and you have to pass each assignment. You can have as many attempts as you want to get your writing assignment accepted, and you'll receive specific feedback, so there shouldn't be any reason that you don't earn the certificate unless you simply don't do the writing. You'll also receive feedback and help from your peers, and by the end of the 8 weeks, you'll be confident in your writing and knowledgeable on how the grant writing process works. But be careful. Knowing how to write grants is like owning a truck. Everyone wants to be your best friend. So you're going to have to set boundaries not to get overwhelmed. And that's because grant writers are in extremely high demand right now, and they have been for years. There's ample job openings for beginner and advanced grant writers, and freelancers currently have wait lists to take on new clients. So here is the calendar for the course, and we're going to meet Tuesdays. You can choose to meet from 12 to 1 p.m. or 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. The first Zoom is the course introduction and orientation. The second week, we're going to talk about the logic model and how to write the organizational description. In week 3, we're going to dive into the community needs statement section of the proposal, in which we'll conduct a literature review and cite articles that back up our case. Week 4, we're going to develop a project budget and make the ask. And then in weeks 5 and 6, we're going to do the project description. We take 2 weeks for this section because it's the most detailed, and that helps everyone ensure that we're all caught up together. Week 7 is all about evaluation, how we determine if our project is successful. And then week 8, we cover ethics and all the extra documentation that gets submitted with the proposal. After that, you have 1 more week to put the finishing touches on your grant proposal and turn it in. So this certificate is a professional certification. It's not something that you would put behind your name like a degree, but it is something that you add to your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Think of it like a certificate in leadership or project management. These are skills that you can't specifically get a degree in, but they're highly sought after. So adding a certificate in grant writing offers you a clear and direct career boost for your studies. There are 2 professional certifications for grant writers, which do involve putting a credential behind your name. And those are the Grant Professional Certificate, GPC Grant Professional Certified. And then there's also the Certified Fundraising Executive, or the CFRE. And to earn those credentials, you have to have at least 3 years experience doing grant writing, a certain number of continuing education credits, and you take a knowledge exam. So this course, this certificate in grant writing course, counts for 24 of the points that you need to earn those certifications, and it's excellent preparation for the exam. So the total number of CEUs that you need depends on your current educational level. So if you have a BA, you need less CEUs than if you don't. And the CEUs, continuing education units that you earn through this course, come from Spark the Fire grant writing classes, which is accredited for those certifications and for which I'm an approved trainer. And by the way, this course has been rated by Instrumental as one of the best grant writing courses in the nation for 2 years running. So let's talk about what it means to be a grant professional. Each year, the Grant Professionals Association conducts a survey that goes out to all the grant writers across the country. So this information comes from Grant Writers Anonymous reports. And what the last report showed is that the average salary of a grant writer is about $77,000. It ranges from $61,000 for the title of grant writer to over $100,000 for consultants. Most grant writers report spending 41% of their time actually writing grants, 29% of their time managing grants, such as writing grant reports, and 30% on other administrative duties. Most grant writers write 21 grants per year, of which 65% are awarded. 79% of grant writers work full-time, 17% are consultants, and 5% work part-time. Grant writers are a variety of ages. 13% are early career, 40% are mid-career, and 47% are advanced career. 29% have a bachelor's degree, 51% have a master's degree, and 16% have a doctorate. In terms of where grant writers work or who they work for, 25% work at or for a nonprofit organization, 12% work for the government, 10% work for colleges and universities, and 6% work at or for a K-12 school. Finally, the majority of grant proposal professionals don't have any professional certification, so you're going to really stand out by having one. The report shows that 12% of grant writers have a GPC, 5% have the CFRE, and 8% have a certificate like this. It's through a college program or a company like Spark the Fire grant writing classes. So now I'd like to share some success stories with you. And almost every day I get an email from one of my former students sharing about their successes. And I love staying in touch with my students and becoming your lifelong cheerleader. So these success stories highlight how having this certification is likely to propel your career significantly. This is Nancy. She took the certificate in grant writing course, and within a month of completing the course, she was promoted to a grants and communication specialist at Goodwill. Other students significantly increased the amount of grants awarded for their organizations, like Annie. After taking the course, she secured over $500,000 in grants within a year. This is Hope. Hope works for the Confederated Tribes of the Chehalis Reservation. She actually took the course twice. She took it once when she was just starting off, and then realized that there were some pretty advanced strategies that we go over. And so she took it again a couple years later because she wanted to even improve her grant writing more. So this course is great for beginning grant writers as well as advanced, because we do cover the basics, but then we move quickly into advanced strategies like framing theory and incorporating storytelling into your grant proposal. So back to Hope. Her department had never received a grant before she took the course. And then within 12 months, her department received $274,000 in grants, which was 45% of her department's annual budget. And that means that she gets to spend more time outside doing what she really loves, which is being a biologist. The last one that I wanted to share with you is Lee. She moved on to her dream job. She completed the course and she was hired as the grant writing manager for the American Cancer Society. Again, grant writers are in high demand, and this course is excellent preparation for that career. So let's just cover technical requirements to make sure you have everything that you need to succeed in this course. You're going to need access to a computer with word processing software such as Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Google Docs actually works really well with this course because you can continue to edit as you're getting feedback from me and your peers. We will use Zoom for our video conference app, so you'll need a free Zoom account. You need to make sure that it is downloaded and updated before the course starts. So for the Zoom, you're going to need a webcam on your computer, which is preferred, or you can also use a smartphone or a tablet that has the Zoom app downloaded. I highly recommend using an app called Grammarly. It is an online editing software, and I use it every day for everything that I do. It just basically catches mistakes. So if you have Grammarly, I ask you to run your grant proposal through Grammarly, basically have it edit it for you before you send it to me. That way I can give you better feedback on the content of what you're writing instead of spending my time catching your typos and editing your grammar, which I'll do anyway, but I'd rather give you better feedback on what you're writing, tell you what you're doing that's working well, and give you tips for how you can improve. All right, I'm very excited to work with you all, and I hope you'll go ahead and register for the course. Our communities, especially our rural communities, need grant writers right now, and this course will prepare you for those roles. Again, if you have any questions about the course, or if you want to talk about your career goals and find out if this class is the best fit for you, please reach out. I'm happy to talk. There are a lot of grant writing classes available online. So whatever class you choose, I highly encourage you to choose a class where you actually write a grant proposal and receive feedback on your writing. I just don't believe you can learn to write grants without actually writing a grant proposal and finding out what you're doing right and what needs improvement. All right, hope to see you soon. Thanks.